Hi, welcome to my blog. My name is Tom Chu, and today we're going to create a tiny planet. I've got one here with the Eiffel Tower where it's facing straight up and down. This would be a little bit easier to use than this one, but this will let us use the warp tool. The only thing you really want to consider when you're making one of these tiny planet graphics is that on both sides of your image you need to have a similar transition point, which is kind of like an L shape. Do you see we have the L shape here? I'm not so worried about these curved buildings. Okay, we're going to try to make something like this. Okay, so let's open this up again. So this is the image we're going to send into Photoshop. Right click, edit in, Photoshop. Edit with the adjustments, that's fine. So first things, we're going to have to clean this thing up. So I'm going to grab the crop tool, I'm going to get rid of that gray area on the top. And yes, I'm going to delete the cropped pixels. So I'm going to leave that selected. And then other versions of Photoshop, you don't have this option. That's the crop tool the same way. But just kind of get the sky kind of clean. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is if you go over here to filter, where the filter we're going to use is the distort filter, and you find that it's grayed out, that means you are in 16-bit mode. So go to image mode and go to 8 bits per channel. Okay. And now we need to make the image square. Don't worry about distortion or anything like that. So we'll go to image size and uncheck constrain proportions and scale styles if you need to. Unclick both of those and kind of go closest to the largest side. So this is 3100. We're just going to make it 3000. And the width will make 3000 as well. And it's going to kind of squish the image a little bit, but don't worry about that. So the image is square. And now we're going to invert it because we want the building to be on the outside and this lower portion to create the center part of the planet. So we're going to image, rotation, and just flip it 180 degrees. Now it's just a matter of going into filter, distort, and then polar coordinates. Now there's two different ways you can distort this. The way we want to do it to create the planet is rectangular to polar, because if you select this side it does it a real kind of wonky looking way. So you click OK, and there you have it. It's run our filter. So we'll just create a new layer. First, let's unlock this layer. Okay. So we'll come down here and click new layer, and we'll go back to the previous layer, and we're going to rotate it. So we're going to hit Control T or Command T on the Mac, and just rotate it however you want. I kind of want the Eiffel Tower kind of pointing up a little bit. So we stay there. And now we've got some gaps to fill. So a quick way to fix that would be if you come in here with your default colors, black and white, and you select your foreground picker, just grab one of these light colors somewhere close to the center of your planet, click OK, and then on the outside, your background color, pick one of the dark colors that are at the edge. Alright, now go to the layer above and grab your gradient tool and kind of just drag out a gradient. Now we've kind of matched what's going on underneath. Okay, so now all we have to do is put a layer mask on, grab our brush tool, paint inside it with black inside the layer mask, and you'll just bring our planet through the gradient that we created. And now we've got kind of a neat graphic element. Now if you paint too much, just click X and clean up your edges. And there you have it. So now what I want to do is I want to fix this curve a little bit. So if you do Control Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E on a Mac, you can create a new layer with all the information on one layer. Control Alt Shift E, Command Alt Shift E, or that's Command Option Shift E, I should say. Now everything's on one layer. We'll select everything with our marquee tool. That's Control A or Command A, and then the same thing, Control T or Command T to get to the free transform. But in this time, instead of trying to rotate it, we're going to right click, we're going to click on warp. So now I'm going to constrain it so that nothing pulls from this side. And I'm going to grab our mesh, and I'm just going to push the Eiffel Tower over a little bit this way. And I'm going to pull it back this way a little bit. And this way you can grab these handles and kind of distort things. Move them up or down. It's kind of like the pen tool. You can see the other underneath. Okay, so there we go. I just wanted to straighten it out just a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect. Maybe I'll pull this over a little bit, kind of round it out. Okay, and if it's not looking the way exactly that I want it, I'll just play with the mesh. We'll click enter, and that will control D to deselect, and there we have our planet. Okay, now I can do another thing to get this thing back down a little lower if I would like. It'd be pretty simple. It's a matter of just coming in with our lasso tool and grabbing it. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Now that's on a new layer. Now we just hit Control key and drag this up. Now we'll grab our move tool and we'll move our planet down. And we'll hide this one underneath. We're going to delete the layer mask. Let's drag that down here to the trash can. Yes, I want to delete it. Okay, and I'm going to grab our gradient and bring it on top. We'll put a layer mask on it. And we'll paint in black with a brush. And we'll just pull this back in. Hit the X key to clean up the edges. And there you have it. You can lower it down and you can do a little better job, but just for time's sake, I just want to show you that you could move it and just create a new gradient just like we did before. So there you have it. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the blog section below. And until next time, we'll see you soon.